Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by PewSitter.com, your online Catholic newspaper for the third millennium. CatholicMediaCoalition.org, in line with the Church, online with the world. CatholicUnderground.com, the podcast about our Catholic faith and new media.
And TheAmericanCatholic.com, politics and culture from a Catholic perspective.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Catholic News Roundup. I'm Michael Voris, filling in for Vic Faust, who's on assignment. The Bishops' Conference stays mum. After weeks of breaking stories of scandals, there is still no official response from the U.S. Bishops' Conference to the charges that the group gives money to pro-abortion groups, pro-gay rights groups, and other organizations with deep ties to the Democratic Party agenda. Meanwhile, a number of faithful Catholics are beginning to ask what the rationale is behind the 13 annual national collections taken up on behalf of the conference. Of the total of 13, not one of them is aimed at helping fund the pro-life cause. The deep ties between the lay staff at the USCCB and the Democratic Party are making some Catholics question if those ties are responsible for the lack of a collection on behalf of the unborn. More on this developing story in the days ahead. In the meantime, thousands of Catholics have already signed the Reform CCHD Now petition in the first 96 hours. The petition link can be found right here on our own webpage. We urge you to read it and sign it and then pass it on to as many friends as possible. Here come so-called women priests. A former nun who the Vatican says has been excommunicated ordained 2 women priests and 1 deacon in Sarasota, Florida, part of a growing movement claiming to be an offshoot of the Catholic Church. The ordinations were the first in Florida by the group known as Roman Catholic Women Priests, which preaches equality for women by allowing them into the priesthood and plays down, a lot, allegiance to the Pope. The heretical Catholic women priest movement was born in 2002 in Europe, where a bishop broke Catholic law and ordained 7 women. It has thrived primarily, however, in the United States, where about 70 of the world's 100 female priests live. Most are married, many are former nuns, and some are openly homosexual. No surprise there. Same-sex marriage in New Hampshire. New Hampshire's House votes this week whether to repeal the state's 6-week-old law legalizing so-called gay marriage. The House will also vote on a proposed constitutional amendment that defines marriage as between one man and one woman. Supporters of traditional marriage say voters should decide, not lawmakers, if the marriages should be allowed. Stay with us. Back in a couple seconds.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by NewOxfordReview.org, the voice of Catholic Orthodoxy, in print and on the web. And RenewAmerica.com, expanding the influence of America's grassroots in the cause of freedom.
And DFWCatholic.org, spreading the truth, one city at a time.
Climate change hoax in full retreat. The professor mainly responsible for the junk science claiming that the world's temperature is increasing is now heavily backpedaling. Professor Phil Jones admits that he can't be certain of his claims because, get this, his office has been completely disorganized and the possibility exists that the world's temperature may have been warmer during medieval times. This is significant to Catholics because the claims about global warming have been used as an excuse to begin discussions about population reduction by governments around the world through the means of abortion and contraception. And finally today, bye-bye, Senator Bayh. Senator Evan Bayh, a pro-abortion advocate from Indiana, is announcing that he will retire from the United States Senate effective this year. His departure is seen by political observers as making it much easier for one of the pro-life Republicans seeking his seat to win it and ultimately potentially shifting more Senate seats to pro-lifers. The decision by the senator, who was once viewed as a potential running mate for Obama, continues to put the Senate in play in the 2010 elections. I'm Michael Voris. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure and tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of Catholic News Roundup right here on RealCatholicTV.com. And be sure and check out the Vortex today, where we talk about how all this mingling with the culture is causing Catholics to be losing their religion. That's it for now. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure and tell your friends about us. And as always, God bless you.